This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. From the kitchen to the front lines fighting fires, Cameron Huley always showed up for his community and his family. Those are the memories of the man they're now trying to hold on to. The 49-year-old was killed Saturday night after police say he was assaulted. CBC's Gavin Axelrod spoke to those who are now grieving his loss.
Cameron Huley was a brother, a father, and an accomplished chef. The 49-year-old's death over the weekend is being investigated as a homicide. Brendan Walker knew him for over 2 decades.
He was just a great friend, great community guy, and he did a lot for our family, and always one guy you could call if you ever needed anything. It was a heart of gold, that guy.
RCMP say they went to investigate a home in the rural municipality of St. Anne Saturday night. They say a man was found with life-threatening injuries and died in hospital. RCMP did not identify Huley, but his family confirmed the 49-year-old was the one who was killed. They're asking for privacy. Those who knew him are eager for answers.
I'm not too sure what justice is going to be held, but something needs to happen. You will be missed, bud, and we will find justice for you.
I said to someone today, no amount of consequence for this even feels like enough. Like, you took somebody's life, an innocent person's life, somebody's father, and somebody who genuinely just loved people.
His friends say that love of people was behind his volunteer work as a firefighter. He often lent his talents as a chef to the community too.
He would offer his cooking skills, his chef skills, to do pancake breakfasts for all the communities around, and even for the local people, just to pop in with some food or anything. Like, he's just so generous, just such a caring guy.
Huley was also an auxiliary member of the St. Anne Police Service. Police Chief Mark Robichaud says in a statement, Huley was his friend, and also says he gave a great deal of himself to others, often quietly and without needing recognition. He gave my son his first job in a kitchen and helped teach him the importance of doing things right. Brendan Walker says he's thinking of Huley's family.
You have an army behind you. You have thousands of people that are behind you and his son, and we are here for him, and our voice is for him.
RCMP haven't said if anyone has been charged, but the investigation continues. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, in the RM of St. Anne.
A Winnipeg pastor and camp director has been charged with sexually assaulting a youth camp counselor. As CBC's Josh Crabb reports, police allege the accused groomed and gained the trust of a teenage counselor.
We have our summer camp staff team and junior leaders joining us this morning.
This pastor and youth camp director, identified by church leaders as Carson Alexander Pargo, is now charged with sexual exploitation and sexual assault. He was speaking nearly a year ago to a congregation at Centerpoint Church. That was a couple months before the alleged offenses started against a camp counselor, a teenager.
It's heartbreaking, it's troubling, and I wish that we had been able maybe to see things that we couldn't see.
Lead pastor Glenn Krobel says the counselor, whose age or gender aren't being released by Winnipeg police, worked under Pargo at Discovery Day Camp, which ran out of the Watt Street Church. Krobel says there were no red flags until a parent of the counselor came forward to him with a complaint this past March.
That resulted in me making a report to the Winnipeg Police Service's Sex Crimes Unit immediately the next day, just a few hours later.
Investigators allege the counselor was groomed, met with Pargo in private on multiple occasions, and was sent sexually explicit material. Pargo, who's now 23, was charged April 30th with sending that material to someone under 18, luring a person under 18, in addition to the sex charges. Krobel says Pargo went on leave from the church the same month the offenses are alleged to have started in August of last year.
And was instructed at that time to not be coming to the church and not be in contact with our church members or people in the camp community, right? Like, he was instructed to not do that.
Krobel says that was for Pargo's own well-being. He says Pargo resigned the month after going on leave in September 2025. He was released from police custody with conditions. Investigators say it appears to be an isolated incident, but the investigation remains open. Josh Crabb, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A man is facing charges after a kitten was found dead in a Winnipeg apartment building hallway. It happened around 11 p.m. Saturday night in a building on William Avenue. Police say the woman heard a cat in distress. When she went into the hallway, she found a dead cat and the man she believed was responsible for killing it. When she confronted him, police say the man threw a knife at her, but it did not hit her. The 40-year-old has been charged with injuring or killing animals and assault. His name was not released. It's been 8 years since the final curtain call at the historic Pantages Theatre. Since then, new owners have taken over. Last year, they unveiled ambitious plans to restore the venue to its former glory. Today, those plans got a big boost from the provincial government. CBC's Cameron McLean has the details.
The Pantages Theatre is getting ready for its next act. For musicians from the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra, the more than 100-year-old Performing Arts Centre will become their new home. On Tuesday, the Manitoba government announced $15 million to help revitalize Pantages, part of what Premier Wab Kinew called a broader vision for downtown Winnipeg.
Where the safety is advanced by bringing more people downtown, having a critical mass of Winnipeggers and Manitobans being patrons to the arts.
After opening as part of a chain of vaudeville theaters in 1914, Pantages hosted legendary performers like jazz singer Ella Fitzgerald and comedian Buster Keaton. It closed in 2018 due to the need for extensive renovations. WSO Board Chair Kurt Vossen says losing the theater would be a tragedy.
We hope to prevent that tragedy, but not only prevent it, but improve upon it and deliver to you the kind of charm and historic elements that this building represents.
The renovations will include improved acoustics, stage upgrades, and wider seating. The total project is expected to cost $62 million. While the provincial funding gets them significantly closer to that goal, WSO Executive Director Angela Birdsell says more is needed.
We have a very ambitious ask in front of the federal government right now. We feel that it's great timing. This is a shovel-ready project.
The theatre is seeking $22 million from the federal government. Once that's secured, they'll launch the final round of public fundraising, aiming to raise another $15 million. The theatre will have seating for nearly 1,100 spectators. It will host smaller performances by the symphony, while larger shows will still happen next door at the Centennial Concert Hall. But Vossen says the plan is to make Pantages available to a wide range of local performing groups.
And we want to reanimate this corner. We want to program this theater successfully for 250 to 300 plus days and nights a year and bring over 1,000 people downtown back to our core.
The Pantages Performing Arts Centre hopes to reopen in 2029. Cameron McLean, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Prime Minister Mark Carney has named retired Supreme Court Justice Louise Arbour as Canada's next Governor-General.
It's a duty that calls for sound judgment, deep learning, and an unwavering commitment to the rule of law.
Arbour is fluently bilingual, has served as a UN Human Rights Commissioner and as a chief prosecutor at The Hague. When she's sworn in early next month, she will also become the official Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. Arbour succeeds Canada's first Indigenous Governor-General, Mary Simon, whose 5-year term is ending. All right, let's bring in weather specialist Riley Lachuk. And Riley, I feel like we have a lot to talk about. And, you know, you've gotten a bit of a bad rap in the newsroom for this spring weather.
Yeah.
And I know you're just the bearer of bad news.
The messenger. I'm just the messenger in all of this. Yeah, I mean, it certainly doesn't feel anything like May out there at all. Barely getting 3 degrees in Winnipeg this afternoon. That should be our normal overnight low for this time of the year. So we're about 15 degrees off the mark temperature-wise. Things fairly consistent right across southern Manitoba throughout the day today. We have seen this cloud cover remaining in place through the day, but there is some high pressure starting to build to the west. And this is going to signal a bit of good news as we get through the next 24 hours and certainly as we get toward the end of the week, with not just a bit of a brighter sky, but something that is a little bit warmer as we get toward the back end of the week here. So some cloud cover pushing through today. You can kind of see on radar here some of that scattered flurry activity that pushed through the Interlake, through the city as we got through not just the morning hours, but really throughout the afternoon hours as well through the day today. That does carry us through the night tonight. A slim chance of a few scattered flurries. Northwest winds remaining breezy at times through the night tonight. Around freezing first thing in the morning. We'll start to see the winds lightening up, and we'll try for 5 degrees tomorrow afternoon. Oh, it will depend on how much of this cloud cover starts to clear out, Brittany. We'll talk about when we do get some warmer temps when I come back.
All right, taking it in stride. Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
Still ahead, why changes to Manitoba's water safety legislation could mean a heavy hit to some people's bank accounts. We'll have more on that after the break. People with wells in rural Manitoba are making waves about proposed changes to the Drinking Water Safety Act. The changes could force some communities to pay for expensive chlorination systems. CBC's Christopher Garreau traveled to a small community in southeastern Manitoba to see the impact.
For 40 years, people in Woodridge used this pumping station for cooking, watering their gardens, and fighting fires. Today, it's locked, after the province ordered a chlorination system be installed. People here say they can't afford that, and are concerned proposed changes to Manitoba's Drinking Water Safety Act means they can never use it again.
There's a lock and key on that right now.
Firefighters still use it for emergencies, like the wildfire that forced 300 residents to evacuate last May. But local councillor Mark Bernard says it's an unnecessary risk.
If there's a fire here, who has that key? And how is the fire department going to use that water when needed to fill up our tankers?
The amendment defines a public well as one with at least 15 connections. Regulations say public wells don't necessarily need to be chlorinated. The Office of Drinking Water is ordering it at places like Woodridge and Pineland Hutterite Colony. The colony was given a year to install a chlorination system for its 107 residents living beside the Piney Ecological Reserve. Titus Gross says they've been testing the water every 2 weeks without issue for 28 years.
We feel it's overreach. We've never failed a test, so therefore, why chlorinate it?
Environment Minister Mike Moyes says the proposed changes are meant to help places like Woodridge and Pineland, giving more power to the Office of Drinking Water and medical officers to determine which wells need chlorination.
Different communities that are quite small, if there's small businesses, if there's campgrounds where the actual amount of risk is quite low, then we're not going to need to hold them to the same account as, say, the city of Winnipeg.
The opposition Progressive Conservatives delayed the water safety changes in Bill 21. Local MLA Conrad Narth says the same aquifer used by major water bottling facilities, which truck water from the village of Middleborough and disinfect without chlorination, is safe.
Communities like this have been testing the water, posting signs that say that this is a non-potable water source, and there hasn't been any health issues for decades.
While Bill 21 is delayed for now, it'll be back in the legislature this fall. That's when many rural residents here are hoping the government reconsiders solving a problem they say doesn't exist. Christopher Garreau, CBC News, Woodridge.
3 men have been charged after a First Nations water treatment plant was broken into and damaged. Mounties were called to the Garden Hill First Nation water treatment plant in late April. Police say people broke into the building early in the morning and a critical piece of infrastructure was damaged. It left the plant inoperable. RCMP say more than $100,000 worth of power tools were also stolen. An 18 and 20-year-old from the community have been charged with break and enter, theft, and mischief over $5,000. A 53-year-old man from Oxford House has been charged with possession of property obtained by crime. Brandon's downtown is experiencing a revitalization, and it's thanks in large part to immigrant entrepreneurs. As CBC's Chelsea Kemp reports, new Canadians are bringing new life to the heart of the city.
Brandon's downtown core is the apple of Katie Packbin's eye. She and her sister, who hail from Iran, recently opened a tea house in the heart of the district.
Brandon is very beautiful, but downtown is heart of that beautifulness.
Packbin wants people to see the rich history of Brandon's downtown and its potential as a tourist spot. She's one of many immigrant entrepreneurs in the core setting up shop. Things are buzzing at Jaish Mezuira's barbershop. From India, he says friends and clients worried about him being downtown because of stigmas around safety and crime. But Mezuira says he's changing minds about the core, one haircut at a time.
As for my view, like Brandon and then particular downtown is very safest area, no problems at all.
The Brandon Downtown Development Corporation says between 70 and 75% of businesses downtown are run by immigrants. More than 20 opened in the district last year.
The key thing is the fact that they have belief, and they believe in the level of support they get from the downtown, from the city.
Nadia Bajour moved from Ukraine in 2022 and opened her tailoring business in 2024. She wants to see more entrepreneurs choosing downtown as a launch pad.
Let's go. Because I think downtown need more like little different business. It's will more people will go here.
With entrepreneurs like Bajour cut from the same cloth, a shared vision for the area's future is beginning to take shape. And back at Red Cat Tea House, when Packbin looks at the tea leaves, she sees a core with potential, as long as the community works together.
Don't leave downtown because it's our like an inheritance of the past. And I am really happy and I am thankful.
The Downtown Development Corporation says with planned market housing and growing entrepreneurial investment, they expect even more revitalization over the next year. Chelsea Kemp, CBC News, Brandon.
Well, Riley, with this weather, there's probably a lot more people drinking some hot tea than there is iced tea right now. And it is May, which means we could really get anything. And a skiff of snow, not unheard of.
Especially through the first half of the month, Brittany, it's really a toss-up depending on where you fall, on what side of the jet stream you are on. I'm going to maybe rub a little bit of salt in the wound here with this one. But I want to show you the temperature. This was on this day last year, Winnipeg reaching a high of 29.5 degrees. Let's round that one up to 30. Normal high for this time of the year, I was saying earlier, 17. That record set back in 2016 at just over 35 degrees. So a lot of warmth. On the flip side of that, I'm showing you some video here. This was from 2004. This was in Winnipeg. Yes, certainly a bit of a snowstorm pushing through the southern half of the province. This bringing with it about 29 centimeters of snow by the time it was all said and done. So we go from the 30-degree temperature that we saw last year to this extreme snow event, by May standards at least, through 2004. We did see some of that as well in other parts of the province here. So looking at some of the numbers from that, I did mention that 29 centimeters, that is the record extreme snow event for a May day set back in 2004. On average, though, we do see typically around 4 centimeters of snow through the month of May. Not that that accumulates. Usually that's melting on contact or disappearing shortly thereafter. But in more recent history, the Westman region getting about 10 centimeters back in 2020. So that's why I'm saying the flip side of the coin here. Really depends, at least through the first half of the month, where we fall. So right now we're in this trough in the jet stream. That's pushing some cooler air down from northern parts of the country, from the Arctic, with some warmer air to the west. We will start to tap into some of this as we get high pressure starting to push in as we get through the back half of the week here. Still some scattered flurries first thing in the morning through southern and central Manitoba. Best chance for some of that in northern Manitoba through Island Lake and along the Hudson Bay coast. But as this high pressure pushes in, we'll start to get some clearing. This happening earlier in the day on the western side of the province as opposed to the east, where we'll likely not get into some of this clearing until we get closer to the supper hour tomorrow. That will impact where we go temperature-wise through the day tomorrow. Then really through the rest of the week, we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds and things staying fairly calm weather-wise right across the province as we get through the next few days. So starting tomorrow, just below the freezing mark, -1s for Winnipeg, Brandon, Portage into Melita, -1 in Dauphin as well. Slightly cooler in northern Manitoba, -9 in Lynn Lake, Thompson around -7 first thing in the morning. So dress accordingly. Things still on the cool side, 5 degrees tomorrow in Winnipeg through the afternoon, 12 into Thursday, mainly sunny sky. We start to correct our temperatures here as we get toward the end of the week, Brittany, up to 15 for Friday and a lovely 14 degrees on the way for Mother's Day.
Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
Double digits coming forward. We have much more ahead right after this. Stay with us. The U.S. says the impasse over control of the Strait of Hormuz has become deadly for civilians. According to Secretary of State Marco Rubio, 10 sailors have died because their ships were unable to travel through the waterway. He says others are isolated and starving because of Iran's blockade. Meanwhile, new Iranian attacks in the strait and on the U.S. ally threaten to derail the ceasefire. Nick Harper reports.
At a Pentagon press conference, an adamant defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, said despite strikes and counterstrikes, the ceasefire with Iran is still intact, even though there have been numerous violations, including 10 occasions on which US forces have been attacked, and the UAE saying it's been hit 2 days in a row this week, a claim the Iranians have denied. Pete Hegseth said those strikes were still below the threshold to restart combat operations, and said ultimately President Trump would determine when the ceasefire had been broken.
The president's going to make a decision whether anything were to escalate into a violation of a ceasefire, but certainly we would urge Iran to be prudent in the actions that they take to keep that underneath this threshold.
In the Oval Office, President Donald Trump said the blockade on Iranian ports is working out very well. It's like a piece of steel, he said.
We have total control. As you know, the blockade's been amazing. It's like a piece of steel. Nobody's going to challenge the blockade. And I think it's working out very well. We're going to see. I can say this, Iran wants to make a deal.
The US claims it's meant a $500 million a day loss in revenue for Iran. Project Freedom is also underway, with the US giving safe passage to vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. CENTCOM says the new operation involves guided missile destroyers, more than 100 aircraft, and 15,000 service members. The Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, also spoke about how it's working and how it will continue to work.
2 U.S. flag merchant ships have successfully transferred the Strait of Hormuz in the first stages of this project, and they're now safely on their way. The U.S. military is deploying the necessary assets to extend this defensive umbrella over commercial shipping. But there should be no mistake. And as I said this already, this is a defensive operation. If no shots are fired at these ships and no shots are fired at us, we're not firing shots. But if we're fired on, we will respond, and we will respond with lethal efficiency.
But even with the ceasefire holding, there's still no deal in sight. President Trump said it's time for Iran to now concede and wave the white flag of surrender. Nick Harper for CBC News, Washington.
Evacuations will soon get underway for sick passengers aboard a cruise ship hit with a fatal outbreak of hantavirus. The disease is spread by rodents. There are 7 confirmed or suspected cases, including 3 people who've died. These are the latest images into us of the ship currently being held off the coast of Cape Verde, an island nation in the Atlantic. Officials have confirmed some human-to-human transmission, and passengers are being ordered to stay in their cabins to prevent a potentially wider spread. 2 Ontario women have been found guilty of murdering a 12-year-old boy in their care and torturing his younger brother. Dozens of witnesses gave testimony in the judge-only trial. The CBC's Megan Fitzpatrick was at the courthouse when the decision was read. And a warning here, some of the details of the case are disturbing.
Inside this courthouse in Milton, Ontario this morning, Becky Hamber and Brandy Cooney were found guilty of first-degree murder and all other charges against them, including assault and unlawful confinement. There was an audible reaction in the full courtroom. Some people wiped tears and hugged each other. The accused were seated in separate prisoner boxes. Cooney shook her head when Justice Clayton Conlon announced his decisions. Outside the courthouse afterwards, Hamber's lawyer said his client is disappointed.
Our client still asserts her innocence. We'll look at the judgment and see if there's any routes of appeal available.
In Justice Conlon's written decision, he agreed with the Crown's theory that the couple abused the boys, known as LL and JL, due to publication bans, and especially loathed the older boy. A cause of death was not determined, but the pathologist who performed the autopsy testified he could not rule out malnutrition. The boy weighed just 48 pounds a few weeks before he died in December 2022. The evidence of each accused does not leave me with a reasonable doubt about doubt her guilt on any of the offenses charged. I find that the evidence of each accused is so replete with problems, inconsistencies, contradictions, and nonsensical assertions that it must be outright rejected by this court. The judge said some of the evidence at trial was excruciating to listen to. In text messages between the women that were recovered by police, they describe LL as a loser, an idiot, and use other extremely offensive language. The younger brother was a key witness during the trial, which began in September. Court heard how the children were forced to wear wetsuits that were zip-tied, locked in their rooms for hours. Food was restricted. The couple testified the boys had behavior problems and their parenting methods were meant to protect them from harm. The case has raised questions about the children's aid societies involved. JL's former teacher said she called multiple times to flag concerns about the boys' home life. Nothing was done.
The fight's not over, that we need to fight for justice for Jay and his family, for everything that happened, make sure that there's changes.
The boy's biological mother recently provided a statement to CBC News. She's calling for more accountability in the child welfare system. She said her son was deeply loved, he's dearly missed, and he should be remembered for more than just how he died. Megan Fitzpatrick, CBC News, Milton, Ontario.
Thousands of soccer fans will descend on Toronto and Vancouver for the FIFA World Cup next month. Police are taking dramatic steps to protect the public from threats on the ground and in the sky. Thomas Dagg explains.
With eyes in the sky and across Toronto, police are showing off a new command center built in a secret location ahead of the FIFA World Cup, one of the biggest security events the city has ever seen.
This will be the longest lasting non-stop operations in our police history.
Police are promising new cameras set up to cover the massive fan festival site now under construction. Plus drones deployed to watch for trouble, including potentially from other unauthorized aircraft.
We have a very robust approach to that with our partners to make sure that we can mitigate any threats from drone technology.
A drone flying over this English Premier League match interrupted the game for 20 minutes as officials struggled to make it buzz off.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
Well, obviously not in my day, but...
Now in Europe, police get training on shoulder-mounted drone interception systems. While in North America, across 16 World Cup host cities, authorities are keeping many security measures private.
Thank you all for being here.
At a U.S. Senate hearing, the FBI's point man had this warning.
One of the most significant safety concerns surrounding the World Cup is the threat posed by unmanned aircraft systems, or UAS.
Vancouver officials are set to lay out some security plans on Wednesday, while in neighboring Washington state, law enforcement is highlighting one high-tech tool they'll use to counter any threat from above.
These drones that you can buy off the shelf or buy can carry things. And we have to think about what is the worst case scenario.
The Canadian government recently announced $145 million earmarked for World Cup security here and in Vancouver. That's more than $10 million per match. Thomas Dagg, CBC News, Toronto.
May 5th marks Red Dress Day, a national day of awareness for missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. Across Manitoba, people wore red to march, sing, and call for justice for loved ones who never came home. Well, it's a day to honor their lives for some. It's a day also filled with grief. CBC's Eric Westhaver reports.
Red ribbons tied to a bridge, each ribbon a remembrance. In Thompson, dozens gathered wearing red in honor of past loved ones and marched together to a local memorial statue to share stories. They included elder Linda Neckaway. Her sister Millie Flett was last seen in Winnipeg 16 years ago. Her family still needs answers.
She was a lively, beautiful soul. She loved talking to other people. I still miss her a lot, and her children miss her a lot.
Red Dress Stories MB, a Manitoba database, shows almost 70 Indigenous women and girls have gone missing or been murdered since 2020 in the province. More than 400 in total. Felicia Lobster works with at-risk youth in Thompson. Wearing a shawl with a red handprint to represent missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls, she led Thompson's ceremony with dance.
We shouldn't have to be having more funerals than weddings.
In Brandon, marchers numbering over 100. Co-organizer Valerie Sandy says that Indigenous women going missing or being murdered affects entire communities.
These are people's family members. They're loved ones that are going missing, that are being murdered and having to deal with the grief, the pain, the hurt, the trauma that comes with it.
The trauma doesn't go away after Red Dress Day. In downtown Winnipeg, participants came from near and far. Krista Fox came from Saskatchewan. She hopes people remember missing loved ones past May 5th.
What ends up happening is May 6th, everybody's going to tuck their little shirts away for the next time or hang up that dress in that closet. What they don't realize is we as families, Red Dress Day is every day for us. Every single day.
Eric Westaver, CBC News, Thompson.
Well, it may be somewhat dry here in southern Manitoba, but our neighbors to the west are fighting floodwaters. Here's a look at widespread flooding in parts of Saskatchewan caused by a rapid melt of a larger than average snowpack. Several roads are washed out in the northwest, northeast, and east central regions. The flooding may delay farmers from seeding their fields, a delay which could impact the size and quality of their harvest. Well, of course, Manitoba is no stranger to floods. Up next, a look back on the 200-year anniversary of a historic flood here. Plus, despite centuries passing and billions of dollars in damages, Canada continues to lag on mapping areas that remain at risk of rising waters. Those stories after the break. As several communities across the country deal with flooding, it's clear how this is Canada's most common and costly natural disaster. About 80% of Canadian cities are located at least partly on floodplains. Yet Canada is lagging behind on mapping areas at risk of flooding. Susan Ormiston has the details.
A rapid melt after a huge snowpack is submerging parts of Saskatchewan.
Roads have been flooded out, basements filled up, roads being cut.
Adding to a wet and watery spring in Ontario and Quebec. A pattern of flooding in Canada more frequent and more extreme. But in spite of government promises, we've failed to accurately map flood risk areas.
Many maps remain incomplete, and much of the existing mapping information is not practical or usable.
A government watchdog called out Natural Resources Canada and the Departments of Environment and Climate Change and Public Safety, noting that mapping targets have been missed and money allocated not even spent.
It's a clear signal that Canada's flood risk system isn't working for Canadians. We're spending hundreds of millions recovering from floods, but we're not giving people the basic information they need to protect themselves.
Cleanup costs are sharply rising. These bars show a trend nearing $2 billion in government spending on flood assistance every 5 years.
A dollar invested today in flood mapping or in climate resilient infrastructure will save multiple dollars in the future.
Knowing what areas are flood prone seems like a good plan, but it is controversial.
I think people are more scared of the flood maps than the flood.
This was Pierre-Luc Cochon's spring in Île-Mercier, Quebec. But Cochon is fighting new flood zones mapped by the province.
People that were not near the water at any event recently were included in those zones. And that's very scary for the population because the impact with the bank, the insurer.
Fearing rising insurance rates and falling house values, several provinces have backed off updating mapping after homeowners objected.
When you provide a flood map, you need to provide tools to protect people.
But with flooding, Canada's most common and most expensive disaster, mapping is critical. Susan Ormiston, CBC News, Toronto.
Manitobans are no strangers to flooding, and today marks a devastating anniversary in Manitoba history. 200 years ago, the largest known flood in the history of the Red River occurred. It swept away the settlement that would later become Winnipeg. CBC's Darren Bernhard has more on the flood of the millennium.
It's just pouring in down along the floodway.
Mention a Winnipeg flood, and many think of this. The 1997 flood of the century was the worst in 145 years and swallowed much of southern Manitoba. But Parks Canada historian Scott Stephen says it pales in comparison to 1826.
1997 was a once-in-a-century flood. 1826 was once in a millennium.
Spring 1826 was delayed by an exceptionally cold, snowy winter. When it finally arrived at the forks of the Red and Assiniboine rivers on May 5th, it came fast and with force.
Everything explodes. The torrents of floodwaters that are coming down are literally sweeping away buildings, houses, barns, fences, livestock.
Almost no visual evidence exists of the flood. Photography was just being invented. The only known image is this drawing by Peter Rindisbacher. The flood is mostly painted through words, in Hudson's Bay journals and letters of pioneers like John Pritchard and Alexander Ross. Pritchard describes water rushing and ice slabs slicing through everything. Ross describes a house drifting away while in flames. Boats took people to higher ground in Stony Mountain and Bird's Hill. It's not clear how many died. Some accounts say 13, others say 5. When the water finally crested May 22nd, it was nearly 37 feet above normal levels, and it didn't fully recede until July 2nd. The pillars at the Forks canopy, near where the original Fort Garry once stood, mark levels of significant floods.
And that top row is 1826. So everything below that level, everything below that line, for miles around, is underwater.
If the old rail bridge at the Forks existed back then, it would be underwater. There are reminders around the city, even if the flood wasn't captured on camera. Aside from the pillars at the forks, there's this display on Waterfront Drive. And this marker off Scotia Street is capped by the 1826 height.
Scott Stevens says it's only a matter of time until we see water that high again, but we're far better prepared. Science and population give us an edge the settlers didn't have. We can better predict floods and mobilize people and equipment to build protection. And we have this, the Red River Floodway, enlarged a decade ago to handle an 1826 magnitude flood. Darren Bernhardt, CBC News, Winnipeg.
No flooding to worry about here in Winnipeg. We did see some up in the north and some areas that were preparing for what could have been a pretty devastating flood.
I know parts of the Swan Valley as well have been dealing with some high water.
Yeah, high water, but you know, we're in a pretty good position this spring so far. Slow melt, exactly what we needed.
Aided in part, yes, exactly, by that slow melt, some of those cooler than normal temperatures, and that's really the trend that we're looking at least for the next couple of days. Then we start to turn the page again here. I missed Feline Friday on Friday because I wasn't here. So just because, hey, let's do Tabby Tuesday because I can do it. How about Binky tonight, paying very close attention to his favorite show. Thank you, Alita, for sending this picture, and clearly a fan of the weather forecast. And one more for you, Luna and Amish from Darcy and Elaine, looking like they would like to enjoy some of that sunshine, perhaps on the other side of the window. You can send me your pictures, please, to talkback@cbc.ca for the dog walking forecast, which we'll pick up tomorrow once again. So up to 5 degrees in the afternoon tomorrow. Things breezy at times. We'll start to see that wind backing off as we get through the afternoon hours tomorrow, and that's when we'll start to get a bit of clearing. I'm thinking it'll be probably late afternoon, early evening by the time we get into some of that sunshine, but certainly expect some peaks of sunshine in there through the afternoon hours tomorrow. So right now in Winnipeg, sitting at 3 degrees, a northwest wind, 20 gusting to just over 30 kilometers an hour. That pressure continuing to rise. That is the trend that we'll continue to see as we get through the next 24 hours or so. Daytime highs across the south, 3s and 4s. Usually we should be around 17 degrees or so for this time of the year. 3 degrees in the Pas. Thompson at -3, but this is where we are seeing some of those warmer temperatures on the western side of the Rockies into the BC interior. Kelowna at 27. Some places expected to reach up to the 30-degree mark once again today in parts of BC with some of that cooler air through not just Alberta, but also into parts of Saskatchewan as well, which are sitting below normal for this time of the year. So overnight temperatures look like this, around -2, -3 for much of southern Manitoba into northwestern Ontario. This is where we have the best chance of seeing some scattered flurries overnight through Dryden into Fort Frances at -2, -3 tonight, -4 in Swan River, a light north wind overnight tonight, -8 in Thompson, -6 in Gillam. A slim chance of a few light flurries or some periods of light snow, particularly along the Hudson Bay coast as we get through the night tonight and into the day tomorrow. Then really we're just stuck with some scattered flurries out of some of this cloud cover tomorrow. Temperatures in Thompson and Norway House up to 2 and 3 degrees. Where we do see some of that sunshine, 5s and 7s not out of the question for the Pas, OCN, and to Flin Flon tomorrow afternoon. That will also help elevate temperatures in the west where we do get some of that sunshine through the day. 10s and 11s through Brandon, Verdon, Melita, but we're under this cloud cover. Temperatures remaining cool, Brittany, for this time of the year. 3s and 5s to the Red River Valley and into northwestern Ontario around 4 or 5 degrees.
All right, thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
A community in BC helped lift an injured animal out of a potentially life-threatening situation. It involves a great blue heron whose foot got caught in the grips of a large oyster. The rescue effort began with a call from someone who saw the bird struggling. Here's a look at how wildlife experts managed to save it.
The caller was a wildlife biologist who noticed a heron in distress, wet, soggy, struggling to swim, struggling to stand as the tide was rising on the edge of False Creek. Very surprised to discover that this bird, this great blue heron, had a very large oyster attached to one toe, just over 300 grams, very large for an oyster. So you're looking at almost a pound attached to a just over 2-kilo bird. This was definitely impeding its ability to stand, to walk, and certainly to fly. With the tide coming in, this bird was at risk potentially of either being overcome by water or, if left too long, also predation by nearby animals. How does one remove an oyster from a heron's toe?
I've never had to anesthetize an oyster. Once we did that, the foot popped out. We bandaged it. It is broken. It literally was being held on by about 2 centimeters of toe. It will be going to the BC Wildlife Association at Burnaby Lake, where it'll stay there for a few days on antibiotics and pain control. This is breeding season for this species, and there is a rookery in Stanley Park.
Are there birds waiting back at the nest for this particular animal? We don't know, but we know that every animal does belong where they are, and we wanted to ensure that it gets back where it belongs as quickly and safely as possible.
Still ahead, a southeastern Manitoba hockey team is heading to the Centennial Cup. We'll have more on that after the break. Plus, Riley back with your last check on our forecast. Stay with us. A hockey team in southeastern Manitoba is playing on a national stage just 4 years after its inception. The Niverville Nighthawks are now practicing hard and heading to PEI to play for the Centennial Cup. They won the Manitoba Junior Hockey League's Turnbull Cup in April. The team's head coach says preparing for these games is no different than what they've been doing all season.
We talk about that all season too. You know, pressure is a privilege. You know, we've had a pretty good record right from the beginning of the season, and I believe we sat atop of the MJHL for a good part of the season, and even the playoffs that we had just showed that the strength of our team and what we are capable of. So.
9 other teams are part of the tournament, including the Flin Flon Bombers.
And with the temperatures we've had across the province the last couple of days, certainly feels a little more like hockey weather than, say, patio weather, but we'll get there. So 5 degrees through the afternoon for Winnipeg on Wednesday, up to 12 as we get into Thursday. This signals a return to something a little bit closer to seasonal as we head toward the weekend. 15 for Friday, maybe a bit breezy, a couple of morning showers possible Saturday in Winnipeg. 14 for Sunday, and looking at things jumping closer to the 20-degree mark again by the time we get into early next week. I have one weather picture for you tonight. Lily taking this in Charleswood of not only the sun and the blue sky there, but the seeding tree. So it's coming, spring.
Like spring.
That does, doesn't it? You can send your pics to talkback@cbc.ca. Like always, well, in a city famous for 24-hour shopping malls and workplace hustle, hundreds of people in Seoul, South Korea showed up at a park for some competitive napping.
All right, that's a competition most of us can probably get behind. Here's your Daily Lift. The city staged its 3rd annual Spring Power Nap contest on Saturday. Officials measured participants' heart rate to make sure they had deep, peaceful sleep. A retired man in his 80s ended up taking the title of top napper.
Now, the sleep competition is meant to underscore the chronic issue of sleep deprivation in South Korea. Data shows the country is regularly one of the most overworked and sleep-starved nations in the world. What constitutes a power nap? Is it like 15 minutes? Are we talking 2 hours?
I think it's got to be less than that. It's got to be like a 15, 20 minutes. Anything deeper than that,
Asking
you start,
for a friend.
right? Riley might need a couple. Tomorrow night, you can catch us streaming at 6 o'clock. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
See ya.